He stood on that stage for 11 seconds, 11 seconds of silence. Then 200 people laughed at him. What he did with that laughter, 12 years later, made a room full of grown men cry. This is the story of Daniel Ruiz. Daniel was 23 years old. He lived in Tulsa, Oklahoma. He worked in the mailroom at a logistics company called Harrow Freight. He stuttered. He had stuttered since he was 6. Not badly, not always, but under pressure his throat would lock. The words would just stop. His coworkers were kind, mostly. They finished his sentences for him. They looked away when he struggled. He told himself that was fine. But Daniel had one dream. He wanted to move up, out of the mailroom, into sales, into a job where he talked to people for a living. His manager, a man named Craig Bellamy, saw something in him. Craig gave him a shot. One presentation, 10 minutes, in front of the whole regional team, 40 employees, 2 VPs flown in from Chicago. Daniel prepared for 3 weeks. He wrote his script 40 times. He practiced in his car, in the shower, on his lunch break, alone in a stairwell. He believed this was his one door out. March 14th, a Tuesday. Daniel stood at the front of the conference room. His slides were behind him. His notes were in his hand. His hand was shaking. He opened his mouth. Our Q1, nothing. The room went quiet. Then someone in the back, a senior sales rep named Tyler Voss, laughed, loud, sharp, the kind of laugh that spreads. 3 or 4 others joined in, not everyone, but enough. Daniel stood there, 11 seconds of dead air. He looked down at his notes. The words on the page blurred. He walked out of the room. He didn't finish the presentation. He didn't go back to his desk. He drove home and sat in his driveway for 2 hours. He told himself, I am done trying to be someone I'm not. 3 days later, Daniel almost quit. He had the resignation letter typed, cursor blinking over send. Instead, he called his older sister, Marisol. She said one thing that stayed with him. Tyler laughed at 11 seconds. He doesn't get to own the next 11 years. Daniel didn't go back to Harrow Freight the next Monday feeling brave. He went back feeling angry, and he used it. He found a local chapter of Toastmasters that met on Thursday nights at a library in Broken Arrow. 12 members, folding chairs, bad coffee. He signed up. He was terrified. He went anyway. The first speech Daniel gave at Toastmasters lasted 90 seconds. He stuttered through half of it. Nobody laughed. That surprised him more than anything. An older man named Walter Higgins, a retired school teacher, pulled him aside after. Walter said, "Speed is not the goal. Rhythm is the goal. Find your rhythm, not your speed." Daniel started recording himself every night, phone propped against a stack of books. He watched the videos back, wincing every time. 6 weeks in, he could get through 2 full minutes without freezing. 10 weeks in, 4 minutes. It was slow, humiliatingly slow some nights. There were nights he sat in his car after meetings and cried from exhaustion. But he didn't quit. 8 months in, Harrow Freight held its annual town hall. Daniel wasn't asked to speak. He wasn't even invited to sit near the front. Tyler Voss, the man who'd laughed, was promoted to regional sales director that same month. Daniel watched him shake hands on stage. For one night, Daniel let himself believe the story that started in that conference room. That some people are built for the spotlight, and some people are built to hand out mail. He almost stopped going to Toastmasters. Then he remembered his sister's words. 11 seconds, not 11 years. He went back the following Thursday. By month 14, something had changed. Daniel wasn't just managing his stutter. He was using the pauses. Walter had taught him that a pause isn't a failure. It's a tool. Audiences lean in during silence. They don't laugh at silence when it's owned, not feared. Daniel entered a regional Toastmasters speech competition. 60 competitors. He placed third. 3 months later, Harrow Freight had an opening. Not in sales, in training and development, teaching new hires how to communicate with clients. Craig Bellamy, The manager who'd first believed in him personally recommended Daniel for the role. Daniel got the job. Salary: $58,000 a year, $9,000 more than the mailroom. But the number wasn't the point. The point was the title, communications trainer. The man who once couldn't finish a sentence was now paid to teach people how to speak. 4 years after that Tuesday, Daniel was asked to give the keynote at Harrow Freight's national conference in Dallas. 600 employees, full ballroom. He stood at the podium. He thought of the boy who ran out of a room with 40 people in it. He spoke for 22 minutes, no notes. He told the story, his story, out loud, on purpose. He named the day. He named the fear. He didn't name Tyler. The room was silent, but this silence was different. Then it wasn't silent anymore. It was standing, applauding. 2 years after that, Daniel got a phone call. Tyler Voss had died of a sudden heart attack, 41 years old. Tyler's family didn't know many people well enough to speak at the funeral, but Tyler's younger brother remembered one thing: a video, shared once at a company dinner, of Daniel's Dallas keynote. He asked Daniel to deliver the eulogy. Daniel said yes. Daniel stood in front of Tyler's family, his co-workers, people who remembered that Tuesday 12 years earlier. He didn't mention the laugh. He didn't need to. He talked about second chances, about how the people who hurt us are usually just as unfinished as we are. He spoke slowly, clearly, with pauses that held the whole room. Not one person in that funeral home knew Daniel used to stutter, because that day, he wasn't the boy who froze on a stage. He was simply a man who knew how to speak, because he had once, completely, been unable to. The people who laugh at your worst 11 seconds rarely stick around for your next 11 years. Don't perform for the room that laughed. Build the voice that outlives it. If this story reminded you that your worst moment doesn't get the final word, subscribe to Unbroken Stories and tell us in the comments, what's the 11 seconds you're still healing from? We read every one.